then why not give Scars from Ubisoft a go? Alternatively, you could just slap them and nick their console. I mean, it works either way.
Now what PlayStation is sorely missing is a Mario Kart type of game, you know, where you can get a few cars bung on a track and you race around trying to fight your opponents. This may be the answer. It's Scars by Lucas Image for PlayStation.
There are actually some seriously good ideas here, possibly let down by a few glitches around the edges, you know. There's some things that don't quite come together right in this game. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's not all there.
Scars is very similar to a game we reviewed earlier in the week called Buggy. I mean that the cars are very similar in respect that they're these kind of big rubbery wheeled low to the ground carts, and the tracks are very unadulterating. You know, you've got dips and you've got curves, and there's also the weapons there. I mean, there's weapons that magnetize opponents to the track, weapons that knock them off the track, etc., etc.
One of the things I do like about this game are the weapons. There's a very diverse range of weapons you can use. You've got things like freeze magnets that pin you frustratingly to the track for a while, and then you've also got bombs that you can hand from car to car that eventually kind of blow up. This is a nice little feature, you know. It makes the thing a lot more interesting, makes it a lot more playable.
Now, if you've got 4 friends and you know they're always around your house, then Scars is a game that I'd highly recommend because it's good to have 4 people and race these tracks. It can be so much fun. Unfortunately, the one-player game leaves a lot to be desired.
This is a very visually slick game at the end of the day, and the handling of the cars is pretty good as well. But with so many top-quality racing games around at the moment, it does feel a little obsolete. Some nice ideas, but got to try a little harder next time around, I think, folks.
Thanks, lads. More of them, or should I say less of them, later on in the show. Right now, it's time for Hot Bits.
Hello. Max Glantz the name. Youth scientist and time traveler. I received this tomorrow. How did I do that? I went forward in time to bring it to you today. What is it? It's the Logic 3 space station. The latest technology in the hold-all for your PlayStation. There's room for your monitor, for your PlayStation, and your gaming gloves. Shouldn't it be quite fun if I took this back in time? Join me. Hello. Yet again, I'm in the past. London. To be more precise, Baker Street. I'm sorry, sir, if my futuristic intrusion may have shocked you.
Shocked me, yes it did, sir. Materializing next to me without so much as a by your leave. I know not how, I care not how, but I'd already deduced that you were somehow not from our time. That is, London Baker Street, 1891 AD. Would you like to know how I'd already deduced this futuristic fact?
How?
I'd cast a long, cold, cursory, yet somehow handsome glance of your vulgar, cheap, and obviously rather unpleasant jumper jerkin.
Yes,
and I deduced by the stitches that it was not a current stitching pattern.
All right.
Therefore, QED, to wit, quadirat demonstrandum, you are not from our time. You must be from the future, because they certainly did not have a record of that kind of stitchwork sometime in the past.
Well done, sir. Well done. Could I show you this?
Yes, of course you may.
This is the Logic 3 space station.
I'd already deduced that it was the Logic 3 space station. Shall I tell you how I'd already deduced this factor?
How?
It says on it, Logic 3 space station. To wit, I deduced that it was, as such, QED, quadirat demonstrandum.
All right, then.
Logic 3.
Okay, fair enough.
Station.
What does it do?
I know not how. I cannot how.
Thanks very much. Right. This is a lovely little hold-all for your place
I've already
station.
deduced that. Shall I tell you how I
I'm going back.
already deduced
I'm going
that?
back.
I deduced by the cut of your moustache.
He was a bit square, kids, now, wasn't he? He didn't know what it was. You didn't know what it was. You will.
I must admit, when the hot bits comes on, I normally cringe with embarrassment, but right now I can hold my head up high because it's time now for the very professional features. Crash Bandicoot 3. A scary prospect, isn't it? Nevertheless, developers Naughty Dog are at least going to great lengths to work some new twists into the format. This time around, Crash gets to scuba dive, fly a plane, pilot a jet ski, travel in time and space, and generally get as close to the archetypal modern action hero as a rodent can get. One thing you should be aware of is the inclusion of Crash's baby sister Coco in the game, so expect hemorrhage-inducing cuteness on certain levels. One thing is certain, the game looks very nice indeed, with all the levels being much bigger and grander than before. With the inclusion of the Great Wall of China and several lumbering dinosaurs, there's more than one slide dig at the Tomb Raider series. And all of Crash's irreverent humour is preserved from the first two games. It's too early to tell whether this is just the latest installment in the adventures of a much-loved hero, or else one sequel too far. It was never the most complicated or involved of games, but that's usually the point, isn't it? We are steaming along like a cowpat. Time now for the main review from the Game Assassins.
The place was run by Gluckins, and they was on the verge of going out of business. They had already chopped up all the wild creatures, so now they had no choice but to chop up Abe and his buddies too.
The only snot-coloured action hero in living memory returns this week in Abe's Exodus, and once again your task is to liberate your entire race from slavery by talking to people, sneaking around, and pulling the occasional switch. Could this really be the world's most PC PlayStation game?
Abe's Odyssey is basically serious eye candy. Not only does it deliver visually, but the gameplay is incredibly satisfying, going from one puzzle-solving solution to finding another puzzle-solving solution. It's really good fun.
It allows you to communicate to the people that you're saving. Basically, you can say hello to them, you can tell them to stand up, you can tell them to follow you, you can fart in their general direction. If they're got some laughing gas and they're running around hysterically, you can give them a little punch to their head just to knock their senses into place.
One feature which was strong in the original game and is even stronger in the sequel is the seamless interaction between movie and gameplay. The transitions are incredible. One of your little Mudokons will drop a spanner and that spanner will fly down into the works, and the movie sequence that then happens is exceptionally spectacular and then goes straight back into the gameplay again. Very satisfying to see and definitely adds a really beautiful edge to the whole affair.
There's nothing like the satisfaction of pulling off that difficult puzzle and saving 5 of those little Mudokons and making them jump into the portal.
Some people may find the pace of the game a little bit slow, as we'd say something like Prince of Persia, which is right there back in the origins of probably the idea where this thing came from. But at the end of the day, this is one of the best games to be released in the last couple of months, and will keep you going for a seriously long time. This game will take you a while to finish.
I love this game. I've been playing it non-stop since it arrived in the office. It's a classic. It's better, much better than a prequel, and I'll be playing it well into the night until I've damn well finished it. Highly recommended.
Okay, lads, it's time now to dab on the Wild Stallion aftershave, do your hair. It's time to meet Helen and Kelly for more tips in space.
God, I can't believe this is what they're saying is going to be number one. Listen. Oh my God. What's on a beach? Oh, hello Andy. Kelly, have you got a tip for us? Let me just check on the computer. If you want to unlock all the courses in Colin McRae Rally on the PlayStation, just type OPENROADS at the name entry screen. This will give you the 4 extra bonus courses. Kelly, I was wondering that why someone would want to take their saxophone on the beach. It's not sax on the beach, it's... Bye, Andy.
Thank the lummy looks I'm wearing baggy trousers. The end of another show. Until tomorrow, adios, amigos.